Losing time, I'm fading fast. I just wanna make it last. Try to let go of the past. I close my eyes, embrace the blast. Sleepless nights and headache stack. Restlessness to hell.
If there's one flagship camera phone from last year that still sticks in my mind, it's the Huawei Pura 80 Ultra. That phone was seriously ahead of its time. A 1-inch main sensor, variable aperture, massive telephoto hardware. It still holds up today. Now, Huawei is back with the new Huawei Pura 90 Pro Max. And trust me, this isn't just a small upgrade. After using it for a full week, I've got thoughts. Let's get into it. Big thanks to my tech partner over in China for providing this footage. I really appreciate the support in making this video happen. Hey everyone, Stella here from techiestreet. If you're into staying updated with the newest gadgets, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss any of our latest tech content. All right, let's get right into the unboxing. The first thing that hit me, that orange ocean color. It looks insane. Orange and blue sounds like a weird combo, but Huawei somehow made it work perfectly. I expected it to feel loud or overdone, but it actually looks classy, kind of like a seaside sunset mixed with a tropical drink vibe. Super eye-catching, but not too much. And honestly, the other colors look great too. The sunset purple feels soft and premium, while the Emerald Lake version has this really calm, refreshing look. It feels like Huawei wanted the phone to feel less like just tech and more personal, like the front is for work, but the back shows personality. And seriously, photos online do not do this phone justice. You need to see it in person. Build quality is exactly what you'd expect from Huawei, solid and premium. The glossy metal frame uses this dual-tone finish that changes depending on the light, and it feels amazing in hand. The camera module keeps the same recognizable style from the last generation. It looks bold without making the phone awkward to hold. The second you pick up the Pura 90 Pro Max, it feels like a true flagship. The Pro and Max branding honestly fits perfectly. So, quick question, what would you rate this design out of 5? On the front, you get a huge 6.9-inch flat display with 1.5K resolution and a smooth 120Hz refresh rate. It doesn't use the dual-layer OLED from the Mate Ultra series, but honestly, the screen still looks fantastic. In testing, it hit nearly 1,000 nits normally and peaked at 1,454 nits outdoors. That's flagship-level territory. Huawei also added the latest Kunlun glass, which cuts down reflections and improves scratch resistance, and you notice it immediately outdoors. Under bright sunlight, the display stays much clearer with less glare, which makes a huge difference when checking photos outside. Now here's the part that surprised me. We tested the screen against everyday objects, and the very first one couldn't even leave a scratch. Seriously, if you're careful with your phone, I'd actually recommend using it without a screen protector. The display just feels smoother and more responsive that way. Before we even talk about the cameras on the Pura 90 Pro Max, there's one upgrade most people completely ignore: the ISP. And honestly, this might be the real secret behind the phone's camera performance. Inside the new Kirin 9030S chip, Huawei upgraded both the ISP and NPU. That means better scene detection, stronger dynamic range, more accurate colors, and sharper images overall. It's the kind of upgrade you don't see directly, but you absolutely feel when using the camera. Now, let's get into the hardware. The main camera uses a 24mm focal length with a massive 1.28-inch 50-megapixel dual sensor. You also get a variable aperture from f1.4 to f4.0, plus Huawei's logic technology. In simple terms, the image quality coming out of this sensor is seriously strong. But the real star here might be the telephoto lens. Huawei packed in a huge 1.28-inch 200-megapixel dual sensor with SEPA 7.0 level stabilization. And for the first time, they added a triple light cooling lens system inside the periscope setup. That gold ring around the lens, that's part of it. Naturally, I was dying to see if all this tech actually made a difference in real photos. The ultra-wide camera uses a 40-megapixel dual sensor setup with a 13mm focal length, and interestingly, every dual sensor on this phone uses an RYYB array to pull in more light. Huawei's second-gen red primary system is also working in the background to improve lighting and color accuracy in every shot. Overall, the camera setup feels less experimental this time and way more refined. It may not have the same wow factor as the Pura 80 Ultra when it first launched, but every lens here feels polished and practical. So, of course, we compared it directly against the Pura 80 Ultra and other flagship Pro Max phones. Starting with the main camera, the results are extremely close to the Pura 80 Ultra. Resolution and dynamic range are basically neck and neck, and honestly, reaching this level of quality on a near 1-inch sensor is seriously impressive. Compared to that, the iPhone honestly feels like it's struggling to keep up. Detail processing and computational photography just aren't on the same level here. But the biggest upgrade over the Pura 80 Ultra is color science. Huawei clearly focused on making photos look richer and more shareable while still keeping them natural. You notice it immediately in portraits and colorful scenes. Thanks to the new red primary system, images look more vibrant without feeling fake. Now, let's talk telephoto, because this is where the Pura 90 Pro Max becomes ridiculous. The combination of that huge sensor and 200-megapixel resolution creates insanely detailed zoom shots. Portraits look more natural, macro shots are still excellent, and autofocus feels noticeably faster too. Night photography is just as impressive. Noise is almost completely gone, but sharpness stays intact. Some shots honestly looked closer to a dedicated camera than a smartphone. And when you compare everything side by side, the Pura 80 Ultra still performs really well. It's absolutely still flagship level. But the iPhone, it just feels less convincing here. Huawei's new periscope design also behaves similarly to other brands in terms of handling, and we captured plenty of extra samples so you can judge for yourself. But in my opinion, the biggest strength of the Pura 90 Pro Max is simple: telephoto sharpness. Because it keeps maximum resolution at native zoom levels, the detail is on another level. And even at 10x or 20x zoom, the image still stays cleaner than most competitors. Video performance follows the same story. Unfortunately, the weather during testing wasn't great, so we couldn't do a full comparison this time. Now here's what makes this really interesting. A lot of phones today use 100-megapixel cameras, but most still can't fully use all those pixels during zoom or video because of hardware limitations. Huawei handles it differently. Its 200-megapixel raw processing combined with real-time computational imaging produces zoom footage that looks dramatically cleaner and sharper. Whether you're shooting at 10x, 15x, or even 20x, daylight, nighttime, concert stages, high-contrast scenes, the Pura 90 Pro Max keeps delivering surprisingly clear results. The Huawei Pura 90 Pro Max handles all of this ridiculously well. Honestly, just imagine recording a concert with this thing. The footage would probably look insane. But here's the interesting part. The upgrades aren't just about camera hardware. Huawei improved both the hardware and software side to push image quality even further. The problem is, most brands forget about normal users. Not everyone understands photography, and a lot of people just want great-looking photos without learning camera settings first. Huawei clearly realized that, so the Pura 90 Pro Max adds several AI features designed to make photography easier and more fun. One of them is the new X-Mage selfie mode. It automatically suggests color styles and shooting modes based on the scene, and you can even adjust the colors yourself with built-in palette controls. Then there's the new 3D dynamic photo feature. After a few seconds of processing, regular motion photos suddenly feel deeper and more alive. It's subtle but surprisingly cool. But the feature I used the most? AI pose recommendations. Because let's be real, having a good camera doesn't guarantee a good photo. Most people just don't know how to pose. Huawei basically turns your phone into a mini photography coach by suggesting poses based on the environment you're shooting in. And honestly, for boyfriends constantly getting blamed for bad couple photos, this feature might save relationships. Now, moving to performance, the phone runs on the Kirin 9030S chipset. Day-to-day use feels super smooth, and it handles mid-range gaming easily. Huawei clearly focused more on AI and computational photography than chasing benchmark scores, and honestly, it shows. Battery life is another huge win. You get a massive 6,000 milliamp hour battery with 100-watt wired and 80-watt wireless charging. In real life, battery anxiety basically disappears. And as expected from Huawei, the rest of the hardware package feels complete. The company has always been good at delivering a polished flagship experience. Software also gets several upgrades. Out of the box, the Pura 90 Pro Max runs Harmony OS 6.1 with new themes and customization options. One of my favorites is the light-sensitive lock screen. Long press the desktop, and the rear camera creates a live visual effect. Combined with the clean, dynamic wallpapers, the whole phone feels modern and premium. There are also plenty of fun desktop styles that can match different moods and personalities. Huawei's Xiaoyi Assistant is smarter now too. It focuses more on voice interaction and contextual awareness, meaning it reacts based on time, location, and what you're doing on the phone. You can even point the camera at objects for instant recognition and Q&A. In the AI era, this feels much closer to the smart assistant experience people actually want. As for pricing, the base Huawei Pura 90 Pro Max starts at 6,499 won in China, which is around £705 in the UK and roughly $953. So, after using this phone for a full week, here's my biggest takeaway. Huawei feels like it's redefining the Pura series. The older P series, and now the Pura lineup, always focused on camera innovation while still trying to deliver the premium flagship experience of the Mate series. But over time, the gap between the two lineups started to blur. And honestly, the jump from the Pura 80 Ultra to the Pura 90 Pro Max feels like Huawei finally figured out the identity of both. Sharing the same Pro Max branding as the Mate 80 Pro Max makes it clear these are Huawei's top flagship devices, but the Pura series still focuses more on standout design and camera performance for people who really care about photography. And honestly, that balance works. So, if you care about premium design, strong outdoor visibility, richer photo colors, insane zoom clarity, and an overall polished flagship experience, then the Huawei Pura 90 Pro Max might genuinely be the better choice for you. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.